Here is something nobody likes to sit with. Everything you depend on right now can disappear in hours. Not weeks, not days, hours. Store shelves clear out. Power grids go dark. Emergency services get buried under demand they cannot meet. And in that window, the difference between managing and not managing often comes down to whether you had a few simple items already in your possession. The frustrating truth is that those items are rarely the expensive ones. They are not the military-grade gear or the premium survival kits. They are the humble, overlooked stuff sitting quietly on a Dollar Tree shelf right now, priced under $2 each, that most people walk past without a second thought. This is a thorough breakdown of those items, what they are, what makes each one genuinely useful, and why by the time most people understand they need them, the shelves will already be empty. Work through this list and then go shopping before that happens to you. 1. Emergency whistle. People consistently overestimate how effective the human voice is under stress. Panic, physical exertion, and ambient noise all work against you. You can scream with everything you have and still not be heard clearly from more than 50 feet away in a noisy or open environment. An emergency whistle does not have that problem. The ones at Dollar Tree are simple, durable, and made from hard plastic or lightweight metal that can take rough handling without cracking or failing. Some feature a dual-chamber design inside the barrel that makes the sound sharper, higher-pitched, and significantly more penetrating than a single-chamber whistle. The mechanics are simple and forgiving. A light exhale produces sound that cuts through background noise at distances that vocal calls cannot reach. When you are injured, dehydrated, or simply too exhausted to sustain sustained calling, a whistle keeps working without demanding anything from you. Clip one to every bag you own. Thread one onto every keychain in your household. Put one in your car. They are small enough that having 6 of them costs less than $1 and takes up almost no room. The whistle itself is irrelevant until the one moment it is not, and at that moment it may be the most important object you own. Premium survival whistles on Amazon come with compasses, carabiners, and multi-purpose clips. Those features are nice, but the whistle function, which is the only thing that matters in an actual emergency, is covered completely by the Dollar Tree version. Rescue workers will tell you that survivors found alive after prolonged searches were often located because of a whistle, not shouting. That simple device cuts through what voices cannot. 2. Heavy-duty duct tape. A torn tent seam during heavy rain. A bag strap starting to separate when you are carrying everything you own and cannot stop moving. A water container that develops a slow crack at the worst possible moment. These are not hypothetical disaster scenarios. They are mundane equipment failures that happen constantly under stress, and they all share one solution. Heavy-duty duct tape from Dollar Tree is not elegant, and it does not need to be. What it is fast. In a situation where time matters and improvised solutions need to work on the first attempt, tape delivers. You do not need instructions. You do not need tools. You do not need skill or experience. You just press it down and it holds. The adhesive grips well on plastic, metal, fabric, canvas, and even damp surfaces, which matters enormously because real emergencies do not happen in dry, controlled conditions. They happen in rain, humidity, mud, and sweat. Experienced preppers keep multiple rolls across their kit, one in the main bag, one in the vehicle, one stored separately in case the first runs out. When things start breaking, they tend to keep breaking, and you will use more tape than you expect over the course of a multi-day disruption. 3. Natural jute cord. You will not miss rope until you need to tie something and have absolutely nothing to use. That moment clarifies very quickly how foundational rope is to almost everything practical humans do outdoors or in improvised living conditions. Jute cord has a rough, slightly bristled texture that grips against itself when knotted. This is not a small detail. Smooth synthetic ropes require practice knot tying to stay put under load. Jute cord holds simpler knots reliably without slipping, which matters when you are tying in poor light, cold temperatures, or exhausted hands. After rain, wet sleeping gear and clothing against damp ground picks up more moisture and develops mold quickly. A simple drying line strung between 2 anchor points using jute cord lets you restore gear to a usable condition without needing anything complex. Loop it around, pull it taut, and let airflow do the work. The fire starting angle is something most people never consider until they need it. Jute fibers separate easily and fluff into a loose, airy nest. That structure catches sparks from flint and steel, ferro rods, or even concentrated sunlight through a lens. When dry tinder is scarce, your drying line becomes your ignition material. Compact, light, multi-purpose, and costing under $1. In a survival context, that combination is impossible to beat. Pack 2 rolls minimum, 1 to use and 1 in reserve. If this is useful, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. More practical content like this every week. 4. Quick light fire starters. Cold is an underappreciated danger because it works slowly. It does not feel immediately threatening the way a cut or a fall does. But sustained cold without a heat source drains your energy, impairs your decision-making, and eventually makes it impossible to function. Fire solves multiple problems at once. It provides warmth. It boils water, which is often your only way to make questionable water supplies safe to drink. It provides light. It provides a psychological anchor in a disorienting situation, something stable and controllable when everything else feels chaotic. The challenge is that starting a fire reliably under stress is harder than it looks. Damp wood, wind, exhaustion, and pressure combine to make it genuinely difficult. Newspaper burns fast and produces very little sustainable heat. Dry leaves are inconsistent and unpredictable. Pre-treated fire starters, like the Kingsford compact versions available at Dollar Tree, ignite quickly and hold flame long enough to actually bring surrounding wood up to ignition temperature. They do not require dry conditions or perfect technique. You light them and they work. Store a significant quantity. During a genuine emergency, you may be building fires daily over multiple days. A single pack is not enough. A dozen packs stored in a waterproof bag gives you redundancy that matters when the stakes are real. 5. Nylon zip ties. Zip ties are one of those items that reveal their value through experience rather than imagination. Before you have been in a situation where one saved you time and frustration, they seem almost trivially simple. After that experience, you keep them everywhere. In a fast-moving situation, broken gear is not just inconvenient. It is a direct drain on your time, energy, and focus at exactly the moments when you have least to spare. A broken bag handle means stopping, finding something to improvise with, spending minutes on a fix that should take seconds. With a zip tie, that same fix takes one motion. Thread, pull, lock, done. Nothing moves, nothing loosens, and you keep moving. The simplicity of the mechanism is the entire point. Beyond emergency repairs, zip ties organize chaotic gear into manageable bundles. They create temporary attachment points on bags and frames. They secure loose cables and wires that rattle and snag. They hold together items that would otherwise shift and become difficult to carry. Toss a large handful into every bag, every vehicle, and every room where gear is stored. You will not notice them until you need one, and then you will be very glad they were already there. 6. Zipper and freezer bags. Water gets into places you would not expect. Rain penetrates bags through seams and zippers. Condensation forms inside sealed containers when temperatures shift. Humidity in enclosed spaces gradually makes everything damp. In these conditions, items that seem protected slowly become compromised. The solution is creating intentional, reliable barriers. Critical documents, medications, backup cache, electronic devices, fire starters, and batteries all go into sealed Ziploc bags before they go into the main pack. That simple extra layer means those items are protected regardless of what happens to the outer bag. Freezer weight bags are particularly useful for food. In limited conditions, partially open packaging allows air in and accelerates spoilage. Dividing food into measured portions, sealing each one completely, and storing them in heavy freezer bags extends usability significantly and eliminates waste from exposure. Zip bags also function as improvised waterproof pouches, small first aid kits, sorting containers for loose hardware and supplies, and even small water carriers in a genuine pinch. Buy large quantities of multiple sizes. The cost is negligible and the applications are nearly endless. A single damp medication dose or a soaked set of documents can create irreversible problems. A sealed bag costs cents. Stock them without hesitation. Subscribe, like, and comment. This is the kind of information that takes minutes to absorb and could matter for years. 7. Hard plastic storage bins with lids. Gathering emergency supplies and actually being able to use them when needed are two very different things. Most people focus entirely on the first part and ignore the second. What results is a collection of useful items scattered across bags, shelves, drawers, and boxes, organized in the way things get organized when nobody plans deliberately. In low-light, high-stress conditions, disorganized supplies become a serious problem. Searching through a pile of loose items for the pain relievers, then for the batteries, then for the flashlight, wastes time and compounds the stress you are already experiencing. A clearly labeled, sealed plastic bin means you open exactly the right container and find exactly what you need in seconds. Hard plastic with a lid also protects contents from humidity, dust, and insects over months and years of storage. Supplies that are properly contained when stored are usable supplies when you finally need them. Supplies that sat loose in cardboard boxes or open shelves may be compromised by the time the emergency arrives. The water storage application is particularly valuable and widely overlooked. When the water supply becomes unreliable, a clean, lidded plastic container can hold collected rainwater, filtered water, or clean reserves separated from wash water. That simple organizational capability has serious practical implications over a multi-day water shortage. 8. Antiseptic wipes and gauze pads. People dramatically underestimate how quickly minor wounds escalate in high-stress, low-hygiene conditions. A clean cut in normal life heals without incident. That same cut, sustained during physical activity in dirty conditions, exposed to sweat and bacteria, and left untreated, can become infected within 24 hours. Infection in an emergency context is not just painful. It creates heat, swelling, and reduced mobility at exactly the time when you need to move freely and respond quickly. Left further untreated, minor infections become serious medical problems. This is a well-documented pattern in disaster response situations. The antiseptic wipes at Dollar Tree address this cleanly and quickly. Individually sealed, they stay sterile for years. You tear one open, wipe the wound thoroughly, and the antiseptic begins working immediately, all without using a single drop of your clean water supply. Cover the cleaned wound with a sterile gauze pad, secure it, and you are back to full function in under 3 minutes. Both items are small enough to keep dozens of each in any kit without the quantity being noticeable. Stock both in real quantity. When someone in your group needs wound care, you want to handle it completely on the first attempt. 9. Canned food. The refrigerator begins failing as soon as the power does. Within a few days, everything inside becomes unsafe. Fresh produce wilts faster than most people expect. Dairy and proteins become dangerous before most people are ready to acknowledge it. That transition window is shorter than you imagine, especially in warm conditions. Canned food does not have these problems. It requires no power, it requires no refrigeration, it requires no special storage conditions beyond staying dry and below extreme temperatures. Many varieties require no preparation at all. You open the can and eat directly if the situation demands it. Beans, soups, stews, proteins, and vegetables in cans stack cleanly, weigh consistently, and maintain quality over years without any active maintenance from you. You store them properly once, forget about them, and they are waiting for you whenever the need arises. The variety matters. Pure calorie intake is necessary, but so is nutritional balance over an extended period. Stock a range of protein sources, carbohydrates, and vegetables, rather than concentrating on a single item type. Your body and your morale both benefit from variety during difficult stretches. When instability signals emerge, canned food aisles empty within hours. People who planned ahead eat. People who did not stand in front of bare shelves and recalibrate their risk tolerance too late. Like this, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks this stuff is overkill. You might be doing them a favor. 10. Heavy-duty batteries. Every device that helps you during a power outage is powered by batteries. Your flashlight, your emergency radio, your children's devices, your smoke detectors, your clocks, your medical devices. The moment the grid goes down, all of them start drawing down their stored charge with no way to replenish it. The arithmetic of this is uncomfortable. Most households have far fewer batteries in reserve than they have battery-dependent devices. When the first set dies, there is nothing to replace it with, and suddenly the flashlight is dark, the radio is silent, and you are managing an already difficult situation with fewer tools than you started with. Dollar Tree battery packs provide a cost-effective way to build genuine redundancy. They are not the highest capacity batteries on the market, but batteries available in quantity today are more useful than premium batteries that are not currently in your possession. Buy them across the sizes your specific equipment actually uses. Batteries also become a real commodity when supply chains are disrupted. People who skip stocking them will actively seek sources. Having a surplus means you have something to offer in exchange for things you might need from others. That reciprocal value is often overlooked in individual prep planning. 11. Bandanas. The bandana is a genuine multi-tool disguised as a simple piece of fabric and consistently underestimated because of how ordinary it looks. People who have spent time in genuine outdoor or crisis environments learn quickly that a few bandanas in a kit cover needs that no other single item addresses as efficiently. Air quality degrades fast in fires, industrial accidents, construction debris, and dusty evacuation routes. Without a mask, particulates go directly into your lungs with every breath. Folded into several layers and secured over your nose and mouth, a bandana provides a meaningful reduction in particulate intake when a proper respirator is not available. In summer heat, particularly in direct sun, maintaining your core temperature is not a comfort issue. It is a performance issue. Wet the bandana, drape it over the back of your neck, and evaporative cooling begins reducing heat strain immediately. This extends your functional range and delays heat-related exhaustion significantly. Wound care, improvised arm sling, tourniquet backup, signal flag, pot holder, trail marker, hat lining in cold conditions. Polyester versions dry quickly after washing and hold up under sustained rough use without tearing or degrading. Keep several in every kit and several more in your vehicle. 12. LED flashlight. Darkness in an unfamiliar or disrupted environment is not simply an inconvenience. It is an active hazard that impairs your judgment, slows your movement, and creates anxiety that compounds the stress already present in a crisis. Your ability to see and assess your surroundings directly affects every decision you make. A small LED flashlight from Dollar Tree restores your environmental awareness immediately. You can see what is in front of you. You can check your supplies without guessing. You can navigate spaces without the constant risk of stepping on something unstable or colliding with an obstacle. Modern LEDs achieve remarkable efficiency compared to older incandescent bulbs. A fresh battery set in even a basic LED flashlight provides hours of reliable light. That duration covers most acute emergency periods, enough to get through a night, coordinate a group, or reach a destination safely. Buy more than you think necessary. One per room that people regularly use at night, one per bag, one per vehicle, one spare per person. They cost slightly over $1 each, and there is genuinely no rational argument for having fewer than several on hand. When blackouts hit, hardware stores and pharmacies sell out of flashlights in under an hour. Dollar Tree sells out in about 30 minutes. Get there before the crisis does. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. This content is free. Your prepared future costs $30 at Dollar Tree. 13. Baking soda. Baking soda is one of the most consistently underestimated items on any emergency prep list, primarily because people categorize it mentally as a cooking ingredient and never reconsider that categorization. That is a narrow view of a genuinely versatile compound. When cleaning products run out or are unavailable, baking soda mixed with water creates an abrasive, mildly alkaline paste that handles grease, food residue, and basic stains from surfaces, cookware, and containers without requiring specialized chemicals or a lot of water. Insect bites, minor sunburn, and skin irritation respond notably well to a baking soda paste. The alkaline compound neutralizes the acidic compounds that create that burning, itching sensation. This will not replace proper medical care for serious reactions, but it reduces discomfort meaningfully when options are limited. Odor management in a confined or disrupted environment matters more than people expect. Baking soda absorbs and neutralizes smells rather than masking them with a stronger scent. Footwear, storage containers, sleeping bags, coolers. A small amount distributed in key places keeps conditions tolerable during extended disruptions. It does not expire quickly, does not require refrigeration, and takes up very little space. One box covers numerous applications across weeks of use. The value per dollar here is genuinely hard to match. 14. Battery-powered emergency radio information is one of the first things people lose access to when infrastructure fails. Phones lose battery charge, cell towers get overwhelmed, internet access disappears, and suddenly you are managing a crisis with no clear sense of what is happening beyond your immediate surroundings. This information vacuum makes every decision harder than it needs to be. Should you stay put or move? Is the situation getting better or worse? Are there evacuation orders or shelter advisories in effect? Without access to updated information, you are guessing on all of it. Emergency management systems in the US and most developed countries maintain AM and FM radio broadcast infrastructure specifically because it is robust, decentralized, and operable even when more sophisticated communication channels fail. A battery-powered radio, stored with your battery reserves, maintains your connection to that broadcast infrastructure. During severe storms, wildfires, floods, and grid failures, local emergency broadcasts carry evacuation routes, shelter locations, and safety timelines that directly affect the decisions you need to make. That information is the difference between moving when and where it is safe and moving blind. 15. Disposable rain. Ponchos. Rain is one of those hazards that people consistently underestimate in a survival context because it feels familiar and manageable. But sustained exposure to rain without shelter or dry clothing creates a specific set of problems that escalate faster than expected. Wet clothing loses its insulating properties rapidly. Wind against wet fabric pulls heat from your body at a rate that dry clothing prevents entirely. In temperatures that feel moderate in dry conditions, wet conditions can create meaningful hypothermia risk within hours, not days. The disposable rain ponchos at Dollar Tree are thin and fold into a small plastic pouch small enough to fit in a jacket pocket or the front pocket of any bag. They are not designed for multi-day outdoor adventures. They are designed to get you through an unexpected downpour while you find shelter or reach a vehicle, which covers the vast majority of real-world scenarios. Pack one per person in your group with extras for unexpected situations. The weight is negligible, the compressed size is almost nothing, and the protection during a sudden downpour is immediate and real. 16. Hand warmers dexterity is something you take completely for granted until you lose it. When your fingers get cold enough, they stop working properly. Fine motor skills disappear. You cannot manipulate zippers, buttons, buckles, or small tools effectively. In exactly the situations where you most need your hands to work precisely, cold takes that capability away. Activated hand warmers from Dollar Tree provide consistent, steady warmth for several hours from a single packet. Shake to start the chemical reaction, tuck into a glove, and your hands stay functional even in cold, wet conditions where exposed skin would quickly become a liability. They also provide supplemental warmth for children and elderly family members who lose heat faster and experience its effects more severely. Placed inside sleeping bags or near sleeping areas, they extend the comfortable temperature range meaningfully. Stock them by the box rather than the individual pack. Cold weather emergencies do not resolve in an hour, and you will want the ability to keep warm consistently over multiple days without rationing. The cost per pack is very low, and the storage requirements are minimal. 17. Safety pins. Safety pins are possibly the most space-efficient multi-purpose item you can carry. 100 of them fit in a small pouch that takes up less room than a deck of cards, cost next to nothing, and cover an enormous range of improvised repairs and functions. Torn or damaged clothing becomes wearable again with a few pins. A broken zipper pull can be functionally replaced. Bandages can be secured when adhesive fails in damp conditions. Straps can be gathered and shortened. Multiple layers can be connected to eliminate gaps. Beyond clothing and gear, safety pins, close tiers and tarps, and rain covers well enough to stop meaningful water ingress. They serve as improvised fish hooks in extended outdoor survival situations. They organize and separate small items within pouches and pockets. They attach visible marker patches to gear for identification. A Dollar Tree pack contains dozens of mixed sizes covering close work and larger applications. All of them fit in a single small Ziploc bag that disappears into any kit without being noticeable. This is one of those items where having too many is genuinely not possible. It is consistently the small, cheap, unremarkable items that people reach for most in a crisis. Not because big items do not matter, but because small problems happen constantly, and the small solutions are what keep them from becoming large ones. Drop a like and a comment. Subscribe if you are not already. Your prepared future is built one small decision at a time. 18. Petroleum jelly. A single small container of petroleum jelly addresses more survival-relevant applications than almost any other item of comparable size and price. Start with skincare, which becomes critical faster than most people expect during sustained outdoor exposure or high physical activity. Friction blisters on feet can sideline you completely during a situation where mobility is essential. Applied proactively to high-friction areas before extended walking, petroleum jelly eliminates the friction that causes blisters before they start. Applied to already damaged skin, it creates a protective barrier that reduces pain and prevents further irritation while healing occurs. The fire-starting application is well established among people with wilderness experience. A small amount of petroleum jelly worked into a cotton ball extends the burn time dramatically compared to an untreated cotton ball. Store a dozen pre-prepared cotton balls in a sealed bag, and you have a reliable ignition method that works in wet conditions where other tinder has failed. Preventing rust on metal tools, lubricating stiff zippers in cold weather, protecting battery terminals from corrosion, providing a moisture barrier for exposed skin in freezing conditions. One small container, many essential applications across the full range of emergency scenarios. 19. Mylar emergency blankets. Heat loss after physical exertion is faster than most people intuitively understand. When you stop moving, your body stops generating the heat that movement produces. Without external insulation, that heat radiates away from your body rapidly, especially in wind or wet conditions. Mylar emergency blankets reflect up to 90% of radiated body heat back toward you. They work on a simple physics principle. The highly reflective metallic surface does not absorb heat, it bounces it back. The result is that a thin sheet of material the weight of a piece of paper provides insulation value that is genuinely significant. The same material works in reverse during intense heat exposure. Reflective side facing outward, a Mylar blanket deflects solar radiation and reduces the temperature inside an improvised shelter by blocking the radiant heat gain that makes enclosed spaces in sun unbearably hot. As a signaling device, the reflective surface catches and redirects sunlight at distances visible to search aircraft and rescue teams far beyond what other common materials can manage. One item serving 3 distinct survival functions makes it one of the most space-efficient additions to any kit. 20. Bar soap sanitation infrastructure is one of the first things to degrade when utilities fail. Without running water and waste management functioning reliably, illness spreads through a community at a pace that genuinely surprises people who have not seen it happen. Basic hand washing with soap and water remains one of the most effective methods of interrupting pathogen transmission known to public health. You do not need specialty antibacterial formulas or sanitizing gels. Regular bar soap, used correctly with whatever water is available, reduces the transmission of gastrointestinal and respiratory illness dramatically. Dollar Tree multi-bar soap packs give you redundancy. Keep soap in your emergency kit, in your vehicle, in your primary bag, and in secondary storage. Anytime clean water is accessible, having soap means you are using that water as effectively as possible to protect your health and the health of people around you. Beyond hygiene, bar soap handles basic surface cleaning, improvised laundry when no cleaning products are available, and even wound cleaning when antiseptic wipes run out. Stock more than you think you will need. In a multi-week scenario, your usage will surprise you. 21. Candles batteries run down. Fuel for lanterns runs out. But a candle provides hours of reliable light from a single unit and can be stored for years without degrading. Dollar Tree typically carries multi-packs that provide a genuine reserve of light for an extended outage. The psychological dimension of candlelight in a dark, disrupted environment is not trivial. A small flame provides a sense of warmth, normalcy, and control that battery-powered light does not quite replicate. For children especially, having consistent soft light can significantly reduce fear and anxiety during a genuinely frightening situation. Candles also provide supplemental heat in very small enclosed spaces, though not enough to heat a room. Multiple candles in a small tent or bathroom can raise the ambient temperature enough to be meaningful in cool conditions. Store them with waterproof matches or a reliable lighter. Keep multiple boxes. They weigh almost nothing, cost very little, and their simple reliability makes them a category apart from battery-dependent light sources. Candles have been the backup light source for thousands of years because they work reliably without batteries charging or fuel that needs to be sourced separately. Do not overthink it. Subscribe and like if this gave you something to think about. Share it with someone who needs the nudge. See you in the next one. 22. Waterproof matches or a lighter fire. Starting requires ignition. All the fire starters, tinder, and prepared materials in the world are useless if you have no reliable way to produce a spark or a flame when you need it. This sounds obvious. It is also something a surprising number of people fail to include in their planning. Waterproof matches at Dollar Tree are treated to resist moisture and wind. Standard household matches fail almost immediately when wet. Waterproof versions are designed to light even after brief water exposure, which is exactly the condition under which you are most likely to need them. Disposable lighters are fast and reliable under most conditions, and Dollar Tree typically carries them in multi-packs. Keep one in every bag in every vehicle.